Welcome to Just Ride Bikes. I'm David, and for the last 2 months I've been riding this, the brand new Specialized S-Works Tarmac SL8. And I'm keen to ride a bike long enough to cut through the first impressions and find out if it lives up to the hype, of which there is a lot around its new release, or whether it's just an overpriced marketing exercise. Well, let me tell you. Remove the price to one side for a moment and we'll come back to that soon. And honestly, why would you buy anything else if you want a lightweight aero race bike? It does all that by taking every element we look for in a race bike to the next level. You want aero for speed? Check. Lightweight for climbing efficiency? Check. Handling, comfort, stiffness? Check, check, check. The bike does it all so well on a level that far exceeds all its main rivals, which I've ridden over the last 2 years. It really is that good. The best tarmac we've ever had. This new tarmac sets a benchmark for a lightweight aero race bike in 2024 then. But there is a price. The new bike starts from £6,000, but the model here, the top of the range model no less, is £12,000. And that's quite a lot of money, it has to be said. It's a big wedge of cash for sure. So in today's video, I want to share my experience of riding a bike. We'll go for a spin and talk about climbing, descending, speed, comfort and handling. Go through some equipment highlights, give my verdict at the end of the video. Let's start by giving you a recap of what this bike is all about. The Tarmac has been with us for an awfully long time, and I've been fortunate to ride every iteration of this bike right back to the original in about 2004, 2005. One of the first race bikes that really got me into road cycling from my background in mountain biking. And over the years, the Tarmac has changed a lot. In those early days, weight was the main focus, hence the SL in the name. And there were some real standout bikes, the SL2, the SL4, the SL5, and so on. And then more recently, it went aerodynamic with the SL6 and then the SL7, which took a big leap forward. And then they dropped the Venge, their old outright aero bike, and put all their eggs into the Tarmac basket. And this new bike takes all the best bits from the Athos lightweight race bike and the now sadly discontinued Venge aero race bike and creates a bike that somehow is both aero and supremely lightweight, lighter than many pure lightweight climbing bikes. The one bike to rule them all is something that gets banded around way too much. But personally, it's much simpler to have one bike that performs well everywhere and isn't compromised. And in the past, aero bikes have been heavy and harsh, and climbing bikes haven't been very aero or good anywhere except going up hills. So the SL8 is somehow light enough to climb with the best, but yet aero enough to not hold you back in a pack of aero race bikes. Okay, let's see what this bike is actually about. You join me on some of my local roads here in the Cotswolds. Quite cold, quite cloudy today, but let's get some miles in, see how the bike performs. A good mix of roads around here, big climbs, steady long climbs, smooth tarmac, rough broken roads, and some lovely views as well. So quite bumpy here actually. A real good test for a bike like this to hopefully shine. And shine it does. This bike is so fast, so quick, and so light. It's an amazing experience to ride this bike. And it's definitely up there in terms of speed with the best race bikes of the last few years that I've ridden. The Super 6 Evo, the Canyon Air Road, the Trek Madone even. But where the bike really shines is the lack of weight. And that low weight just gives the bike such an immediate sense of urgency. It's so reactive, it's so much fun to ride, it really does put a smile on your face. And if you like climbing and like going fast everywhere else, the bike delivers, it really does deliver an intoxicating combination of speed and weight and stiffness, all wrapped up with great handling and geometry. It's a perfect race bike. And if you are actually racing at World Tour or Surrey League level, why would you buy anything else and give yourself a handicap of extra weight? The Tarmac has always been a quick bike. I don't think the bike feels any quicker than the old SL7 or the Avenge, but it's that lack of weight, bringing that ethos, low weight to an Aero platform is really the reason this bike shines so well. Now, the weight of this bike is easy to quantify. My scales show it's 6.5 kilos and lifting up reveals it's very light indeed. But aerodynamics, well, that's harder for us guys to evaluate here in the real world. But thankfully, the well-respected German magazine Tour have done some of their own testing in a wind tunnel over in Germany. The new SL8 requires just 209 watts at 45 kilometers per hour. A high speed, I know, but it is a race bike designed for the pros who do ride at such high speeds. But more impressively is that the new SL8 only gives away a few watts to the likes of the Super 6 Evo, the Canyon Aero, and even the Trek Madone SLR as well. So for the bike to be nearly as aero as its main rivals, yet substantially lighter, is highly impressive. And that's why the bike does deliver such amazing performance. And then there's the comfort. Now the Cotswolds, as you can see behind me, is blessed with some lovely roads, but also some awful road surfaces. And normally a race bike is an experience you tolerate, you put up with. It's a compromise. But with Tarmac, that isn't the case. Over the last few months, I've been riding some fat-tired endurance bikes, which offer fantastic comfort. But even coming from those bikes onto a Tarmac, the difference is tiny. It's just not a rough bike at all. It's so smooth for a race bike, and that's with a stock 26mm wide tyres. They do blow up bigger on these Roval rims, but I haven't felt the need to go to a 28 or a 30mm wide tyre. If I owned the bike, I probably would go wider, but right now, the stock tyres, tubeless, at low pressures, are just fine. The comfort is remarkable, both through the handlebar and through the saddle as well. So the work they've done to the back of the bike to give that extra compliance really has paid off. It's a race bike you can ride all day long in ample comfort. And that comfort and low weight hasn't come at the expense of stiffness, at least in my testing. It's great in these short, punchy climbs I have here in the Cotswolds. It's not flexing underneath me at all. Oh, it feels amazing. I should add, of course, that I'm quite a lightweight rider, sub 70 kilos. My power output these days is pretty poor, but even when I'm trying as hard as I can feel no flex whatsoever. And it compares well to a Super 6 Evo, the Trek Madone and so on. I think the Trek Madone probably has the edge, and the Super 6 Evo is probably a little bit snappier and a bit more on it when you're really sprinting, really going full gas, but the difference is pretty small. But I would take the low weight and the extra comfort of the SL8 over the Super 6 Evo if I was racing. There are some lovely, lovely houses around here. Way out of my league though, look at them there. Just lovely. And when it comes to climbing, boy oh boy, does this bike go up the climbs like nothing else. This is a local climb to me. Drop a comment down below if you recognise it. I won't be setting any PBs today. It's way too cold. My face is frozen. But let's see how I get on. In my lowest gear, race gears of course, pulling the 280 watts. Be a steady grind to the top. You can definitely feel that lack of weight when you pedal. Feels like you're pushing less mass along the road or up the road. Just feels easier than other race bikes. What a marginal gain. I need all the help I can get these days. Out of the saddle, it feels good. There's no flex, no lack of stiffness, no disc brake rub. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. What a bike. This should be a hard climb, but it's not actually going that badly right now. So yes, the bike climbs very well indeed, even with this unfit lump on top of it, and definitely better than the Factor 02 VAM I reviewed last year, which was a pure climbing bike. So lightweight and aero, you can have your cake and eat it. There just isn't another race bike that comes close in combining aero and weight. Now, this bike is jolly expensive, but it is at least well equipped with some good parts on it and nothing you need to change at all. And Specialized has to be commended on getting the details absolutely right. Now, if I was buying a bike, and that's a big if, I know, I would probably go for a wider tyre, just a 28 to get a bit more smoothness. Not that it really lacks comfort, it's plenty smooth enough with these tyres on it. A 26, but actually measure more like a 27, 27 and a half. They're tubeless, and these tyres are fantastic in all conditions, nice and supple, good rolling speed, but they do wear out quite quickly. But that's a compromise you pay for a lightweight, supple race tyre. The wear rate is quite high. The Shimano Dura-Race DI2 group set is faultless, 12 speed, plenty of ratios, super fast shifting, long running battery life. All I've done is charge the battery up a few times and it's been fantastic. Another nice detail on this bike is the 4i dual-sided power meter. At this sort of price point, a power meter has to be included. And it's nice that they've avoided the Shimano power meter, which we know isn't the most reliable, and gone for the 4i, which I found to be very reliable and consistent and accurate in my testing. And the battery lasts blimmin' ages as well. Now, the only wrinkle perhaps in the equipment, and it depends on your handlebar width preference, is the handlebar. If you want something narrow or wider, you'll have to speak to your Specialized dealer. But personally, I'm quite happy with the handlebar width. I don't want anything narrower or wider. It's spot on for me at 181 centimeter tall on a size 56. Right, time to wrap things up. I think it's safe to say the new SL8 does deliver on the hype and does deliver on the promise. I've ridden lots of amazing race bikes over the last few years and they've all impressed, and race bikes now are getting to a very high level of performance indeed. But what Specialized has done with the Tarmac is nothing short of amazing in reducing that weight to a level I've not seen before in a bike that still retains the aero performance of it, whilst offering great comfort, stiffness and handling too. And if I was buying a race bike to go racing, or just because I want the best race bike for the experience a race bike offers, I don't know what else I'd buy other than the Specialized Tarmac SL8. The only downside, and it's a big one, is the price. It is too expensive. I don't know why it's so pricey when other brands can offer similar specification for less money. I am intrigued to see how the mid-range Ultegra DI2 model, the Pro, would compare to this one, and whether it loses any of the magic this one has due to low weight. Or maybe the smart option to save some money is to buy a frame set on its own and build it with the parts you want on it. Maybe Ultegra, some nice wheels, different parts, to try and bring the price down and customize the equipment to your own personal taste. But if you've got 12 grand to buy, then I would not hesitate to buy a bike. It doesn't disappoint at all. It really is that good. And yes, I know some of you will think I've been drinking a Specialized Kool-Aid or taking a naughty backhander, but no, I haven't. It really is my own opinion. They haven't told me what to say. I'm not relaying the marketing hype. I've ridden the bike for the last 2 months. I've tried to find something wrong with it. I really have, but it is just fantastic. It's an amazing race bike and does raise the bar for what a race bike should be. And really, it's up to all the other bike brands to respond and see if they can match what Specialized is currently offering in the Tarmac SL8. So there we go, my review of the Tarmac SL8. It's been a long one. It took me quite a while to get one delivered, but hopefully you enjoyed it. And if you did, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Maybe consider joining the channel, hitting that button down there for a small monthly fee to help support me making videos like this on a regular basis. And if you want to see a video of the best race bikes currently available, which aren't a Specialized Tarmac SL8, then watch this video up here. But as the sun sets, it's time for me to bid you farewell. I'll see you all again very soon. Thank you so much for watching.